Well, I gotta be honest with you, it does not look pretty. What the heck has happened to the cryptocurrency market and Bitcoin? Why has this crash happened? In this video, we're gonna be talking about exactly what is going on with Bitcoin, where this bleeding and pain might end, and as well as talk about the important fundamental stories that are happening in the market that are driving all of this. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear idea of why all of this is happening, so that way you can better make decisions in the future, as well as what is the right thing to do in this sort of scenario. I'll talk about what my plan is. Hi, my name's Adam Winnig. I've been involved in cryptocurrency since 2014. I made this whole YouTube channel to help make your trading and investing experience easier, lucrative, and fun. So go ahead and click like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any more of this content. So what the heck is going on? Let's take a look here. So we'll take a look at the charts, then we'll take a look at why is this actually happening, and then we'll take a look at what we can do about it. Okay, so as you can see here, this is nasty, right? We're now trading at about $21,000 currently. If we take a look at where we were at the high here, we are basically 69%, which is ironic, 69% in drawdown from the previous all-time high here. And you can see that for the past year and a half, we'd really been trading in this zone between $30,000 and $60,000, just ranging in between here. And we've just recently got a very clean break below this and a sharp break below this to right around $20,000. Now, we probably know that $20,000 is an important area, right? Because if we take a look back at the previous market all-time high in the previous cycle, which was right here, it was right around $20,000 that it tipped to. So there's probably going to be a large support area right here, but will it hold or not? We'll talk about that in just a second. Yeah, so this is also a psychological number, right? These key round whole numbers, $20,000, for example, are generally key support areas as well. Now, if we take a look at what's happening on a higher time frame, on the weekly time frame as well, we're at this 200-day simple moving average, which has been really, really key. This has been the bottom for the crypto market a lot in the past, as you can see here, and we'll see what happens right here. I'm not saying that it will be, because there's a lot of other factors that are in play here. Now, also, if we take a look at what's happening with Ethereum and we just take a look at you can see the chart here. This is the 200 SMA. You can see that we're right at that key level there as well. And if we take a look on the daily chart, it looks pretty ugly. Where are we from previous all-time highs? We're like 78% in drawdown. So pretty ugly at this point, right? Now, why is this all happening? Well, if you look at what's happening, it's not just the crypto markets. I mean, all markets across, are really taking a beating. If you look here at the S&P 500, 23% now in officially like a bear market here, anything over 20%. If we take a look here, 32% on the NASDAQ, which are tech stocks, obviously. So what's causing all of this? Well, the real thing that's causing this, I believe, has a lot to do with what's happening with the macroeconomy. As you know, the Fed Reserve has the ability to manipulate interest rates, which a lot of the times cause the markets to move differently. And over the past several months here, we've been hearing about and experiencing interest rate hikes. Okay, just yesterday, there was a 75 basis point rate hike, which basically means that money gets more expensive. And the way that these work, if you haven't heard me talk about this, I addressed this a little bit in the last video, but basically when interest rates increase, money becomes more expensive and people are less risky with that money. Okay. And so generally it's bad for assets. So that's why we see what's happening in stocks. That's also why we see what's happening in the cryptocurrency market, which is an exaggerated price action of what's happening in the stock market. So here's the thing. So where does this pain end? Well, it's likely not going to end until we get some sort of nod from the Fed that interest rates are going to be going the other way. Okay, which means that interest rates are going to be lowering. Okay, now here's the interesting scenario. So I talked about this briefly, and then I want to talk crypto specific, but I talked about this in my last video about, the price of food and fuel have shot up around the world, in America, everywhere. And With that being said, people don't like that, right? People are complaining about that. Wages have not increased at all, let alone price of everything has increased. So people are struggling. And if we take a look at, the Democratic Party, which is currently in office in America, right? If they want to have a job again, then they're going to need to do something about this, right? And maybe, as it comes towards the midterm election, they're going to, start announcing stuff to start trying to turn around the economy so that way they can retain their jobs, basically, which they're definitely going to need to do. Like, they have to do this. The other thing is that, like, with the food and gas prices rising, the government can offer subsidies. And the only way that they can do that in order to keep the cost of food and gas low is by printing more money. And we saw what happened when we printed more money. Boom. We had this massive bull run when COVID hit. We had to print more money. And, this is what happened. So until we get that sort of nod that interest rates are going to change, then, likely we're going to be either in just like a boring kind of ranging flat market, or we could see lower prices, which we'll talk about in just a second. Okay. So what is actually causing a lot of this? Well, obviously in the macro world, the interest rates, all of this is, causing it, but also more crypto specifically, there's been a couple things that happened this week. The Celsius blow up. So if you're unfamiliar with Celsius, it's similar to BlockFi or Nexo. It's kind of like a crypto bank account. You deposit your crypto there and they give you a fixed interest rate, right? So for example, if you had deposited something like USDC in the past, they were trading that USDC for UST, depositing it into Anchor. They were making 20% and they were pocketing 15%, giving you 5%, right? And what happened to Anchor? It's gone, right? UST is gone. So this probably put massive pressure on Celsius. And on top of that, they are now facing insolvency, where basically Celsius has 10 billion in customer assets in Celsius and only about 1.5 billion accounted for in their various Celsius wallets. So clearly there's a mismatch here. Are they going to be able to repay these people? I don't know, but they've halted all trading, all withdrawals from Celsius. So it's looking very ugly for Celsius, which is one of the biggest crypto platforms in the world. Now, on top of that, Three Arrows Capital, which is one of the largest hedge funds in all of crypto, they're based out of Singapore. They are essentially on the risk of liquidation. Basically, they have deposited like $245 million into Aave, which is a lending platform. And essentially what they've been doing is having to sell massive amounts of crypto in order to pay down their loans. I can't remember where the number's at exactly, but basically if the price of Ethereum goes slightly below $1,000, then they can completely get liquidated, which is crazy. It's scary. This is one of the largest funds in all of crypto. So on top of the Celsius news, there's this Three Arrows Capital news, right? Now, also on top of that, Coinbase has laid off around 1,100 employees, which is crazy. On top of that, the other day, we had Binance pausing Bitcoin withdrawals for several hours due to a stuck transaction. So it's been nothing but FUD. It's been nothing but, real fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Not like, oh, it's FUD. Don't worry about it. But real fear in the markets, right? And the markets have responded to that. Also, Tron's USDD stablecoin is trading below peg, which is, what we just saw happen with UST, even despite injecting $2 billion worth of cash into it. So it's an ugly world out there. Now, with that being said, is it time to buy or is it time to sell? Okay. And look, this is not financial advice, but if you just study market cycles, and I've talked about this, sheet a little bit, but if you study market cycles, markets are made up of humans. Human beings are emotional, and we have to look at where we at in this cycle. Are we at optimism, belief? Are we at thrill? Are we at euphoria? Are we at complacency, anxiety, denial, panic? We're at like capitulation, right? Like the market is capitulating. And so we're likely closer to the bottom than we are to the top. Okay. And so I personally am adding. I did buy some more Bitcoin yesterday. I'm continuing to buy more, especially right around $20,000. I think it's a good place to buy. Nothing fundamentally has changed. Bitcoin and Ethereum, nothing at all has fundamentally changed. There's been a lot of leverage in the market, and people are getting liquidated. Sure, things with macro aren't like really pretty either, but nothing has fundamentally changed. Like, I still see Bitcoin being a $500,000 asset. I don't see why it couldn't be. But it's scary. And, have we experienced this? Yes. Like, every single cycle we've experienced like this sort of price action before. So where are good places to buy? Like, I think $20,000 is a great buy. If we go below that, then, if we can get to, I mean, I can't imagine us getting to like $10,000, but I think $20,000 is a good place to buy. That's why I'm personally buying. And that's the deal. I'm not buying any other altcoins at this point, just because, like, until we see Bitcoin's price action starting to reverse, then altcoins always follow after. So I'm not, getting into any altcoins at this moment. So anyways, I hope this is helpful, like understanding a little bit about what's going on in the world, as well as what's caused this sharp price action in crypto specifically. And, there's what I'm doing. If you disagree with me, let me know in the comments below. I know some people think we're going into the teens, and sure, that's, I guess, possible, but you can't really time the bottom, right, on this sort of stuff. So anyways, let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video.